Hello everyone, this is the second lecture of my Python lecture series, and this lecture is about strings, lists, tuples, and dictionaries. So stay tuned and let's move on. Now let's talk about strings. Strings are ordered sequences of characters. For example, my name equals quotes and James. What is interesting here? Strings cannot be changed, and order matters here. So you cannot change the M letter with N. Now let's see in action in Spider IDE. Let's create a string. For example, my string variable or string variable 1 equals either single quote and inside single quote any characters, for example, hello world, or string variable 2 equals double quotes and inside the same hello world. Or if you want multi-line string, you can create it by 3 either single quotes or double quotes and insert there your multi-line string. Here what is important, you can use single quotes inside double quotes. For example, hello's world, you would use double quotes, and after O you could use single. Now let's move on to indexing and slicing of string variables. The characters inside string variables are numbered from 0 to its consecutive number of every member. For example, the first number has an index 0, the second number index 1. And if you want to access, for example, the first member of string, first character of string, you should type string variable name, square brackets, and 0. If you want several member characters of the string, you can type, for example, you want first 3 characters or first 4 characters of the string, as can be seen on the screen. You just type the string variable name, square brackets, 0:5. If you want to slice from the end, the numbering goes from -1 to the consecutive number beginning from the end. For example, if I want from the 5th member to the end, count it from the end, I just type in square brackets -5 colon. Of course, beginning with string variable name. Now let's try to change the string variable. If, for example, here we want to change the hello world string variable, the first capital letter H with lowercase h, the interpreter will complain as string changing is not allowed. Instead, we can use the replace function for strings and pass as an argument for these functions the letter or character to be changed, the capital letter H with the lowercase letter h. And if we run the code, we will see on the console that it will return new string with beginning lowercase h. Python has very interesting functions concerning strings, so you can do very nice actions with the strings. For example, you see the ends with function. So we just check if the string ends with world. And if we run the code, we get the true as our hello world string ended with world. The next interesting function is alpha function, which checks if the string contains only letters. Here we will get false as our string contains also space between hello and world. Next function we just check here is the lower function, which converts all the string uppercase letters to lowercase letters, which is especially useful in machine learning. Of split function. Split function splits the string characters based on some criteria, for example, comma, space, etc. Here we'll try to separate our multi-line string by spaces, and the result is the list with the words it contains, because words are separated by space. Now let's see the concatenation in action. Imagine we have two words, word 1 and word 2, and we want to create a sentence. Word 1 is hello, word 2 is world. So we want the sentence to be hello world and space between these two words. So we write word 1 plus space plus word 2. Printing this variable will result hello world, which was our target. This section is about lists. Lists are ordered sequences of characters. That means order is important. You create list typing the list name equals square brackets and list members separated with comma. Order is important here, so you cannot mix the order. But fortunately, lists are mutable, so you can change. For example, the member, third member, 8, you can change and with 1. Tuples are very similar to lists. They are ordered sequences of characters. And you create a tuple. Typing a tuple name equals brackets and tuple members separated by comma. Tuples, in comparison with lists, cannot be changed. If you create tuple, as in case of strings, you cannot change it. So let's see how we really create lists. To create an empty list, just type the list name equals and square brackets, nothing inside it. Lists can contain strings, numeric variables, another lists, as in case of mixed list we have here. You can also create lists with list function, for example, passing as an argument, for example, string, and it will create a list with string characters. Let's see what we'll see if we print mixed list. We'll see as it is here. So the indexing and slicing lists is very similar to that of strings. You just type the list name, square brackets, and list member index or number, which begins with 0. So here you'll see the first member printed on the console. If you want another members, you just, for example, if you want 2 members, you type from 0 to 2 and you'll get Python and 1. Coming on to basic operations with lists. Let's change the first member of the list. We just type the first member, list name, square brackets, 0 and equals the member we want to change. We replace Python with C#, and here you see the first member is C#. Now let's see the built-in functions on lists. As with strings, you just type the list name, dot and function name and pass the argument needed. For example, append function appends at the end of the list the specific member, in this case MATLAB. If we will run, we see that MATLAB member is at the end of the lists. There is another interesting function called extend, which performs the same operation as append, but in comparison with append, for example, if you pass two members to extend, it just adds two members at the end of the list. In case of append, you will get the nested list at the end of the list you added. Printing mixed list shows that two members C and R are added to the end of the list. The reverse function just reverses the order of members of the lists. You see on the console that the members of the list are reversed. Coming up next to list comprehension and item searching in the list. If you want to know if a specific string or specific member is in the list, you just type, for example, we want to know if Python is in the list. We type Python in list name and it will return something or which is false because we have changed Python with C# above. So for list comprehension, let's create a numeric list beginning from 1 and ending with 5. List comprehension is iterating over list members and choosing those who satisfy the condition and perform operation with it. Here we create a new list, search over list members, list members for all those who are less than 5 and multiply by 4. If you run, we see that list members from 1 to 4 are multiplied by 4 and included in the new list. Now let's move on to creation of tuples. To create a tuple, you just type the tuple name, brackets. For empty tuple, you store nothing inside the brackets. Tuples are like lists except for they cannot be changed. You can also put another tuples inside tuples and any variable. You can also create tuples from lists by passing the list name to tuple function. Let's print the tuple from list tuple to see what happens here. If we print, we just see the list which was above now in the tuple format. You see here. Next sequence I'll describe is dictionary. Dictionaries are unordered sequences of key value pairs. You create dictionary by typing the name of dictionary equals curly braces and key value pairs. The order of these pairs is not important, as for example name gem key value pair can be at the end of dictionary. Dictionaries are mutable, so you can change its members. Let's create dictionaries. To create empty dictionary, you just type dictionary name equals and curly braces, nothing inside it. Mixed dict dictionary equals product ID, then colon and the value, key value pairs. Unlimited key value pairs you can have here. Lots of key value pairs. You can also create dictionary from tuple. You just pass key value tuples to dict function. Here, for example, product ID and 55, product name and caret tuples are passed to dict function. Let's print it to get the tuple the dictionary members in the console. So you see here, as we wrote on the code section, it is displayed in the console. So let's get the dictionary keys and values. To get the value of the dictionary, you just type dictionary name, square brackets, and the key name in brackets. Here you'll see the carrot, which was a product name. If you want to get the keys of the dictionary, just type dictionary name dot keys function. Here you see the keys of dictionary, which is product ID, product name. If you want to get the values of the dictionary, just as in the case of keys, just type the dict name dot values. Printing it will show our dictionary values, which is 55 and carrot here. That is it. If you want to get items of the dictionary, that is key value pairs, you can use the items extension function. You type dictionary name dot items. Dictionaries also have their basic operations. For example, if you want to search for a key in dictionary, you just type the key and type in and type the dictionary name. Here, Python searches product name in the dictionary keys and finds it. If you want to search specific item in dictionary values, you just type the same expression, but after in you type, instead of dictionary name, you type dictionary name dot values. If you want to change the dictionary content, you just type the dictionary name in afterwards you type the square brackets, inside it you type the key and type equals the new value you want to assign to specific key. If you want to delete dictionary key, you just type del and dictionary name and key in square brackets. If you print to get the results of what we have done, you see that we have deleted the product ID and also changed the product name.